All right. And I was sharing with them sometime that in terms of sometimes you have to be careful of who you talk to. Because through conversation, a man is able to peel you.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Through conversation, a man is able to peel your skin, move your covering, and get into the compartments of your life. So you could be talking to someone that you're not attracted to, you don't like them, but every night, 9 o'clock, you talk to this person for 10 minutes. You don't like the person, you're not attracted to them, but every night, 10 minutes. All right? And through conversation, through words, through conversation, he's able to peel your skin, which is your covering. And now he gets into the compartment of your life. And you're wondering why every night, 9 o'clock, you're waiting for this call to somebody you don't even like. All right? So what happened now with the orange, so when your skin is peeled, so you're walking around now with no covering and your life is exposed. All right? So just like the orange can be squeezed and crushed. So you get all the juice out. And sometimes a woman, her life is crushed and squeezed. But what God does, what the seed represents the knowledge of God. Because in each one of us, the knowledge of God is in there. So even though you're crushed, God is able to stretch his hand and take your seed, that seed that is in you, and plant you back in life again. And that's what I was saying. It's difficult to keep a good woman down because she could bounce back up anytime because of that seed of knowledge.
I would want to define what is meant by good woman then. So which woman? Like when you say a good woman, do you mean a woman of God? When you say a good woman? So I get what you're saying, but so it's that a woman who's connected to God.
No, it's any woman. I just use the word good, but it's any woman is a good woman. Woman is a good woman because of that seed of God is inside of you. So it's not not classing her in anybody. I just say good woman. I think the teaching was the series was good girls gone bad, bad girls gone good.
Okay.
So that's just a clip from it. All right. So that is what. So
I think it gave hope to women because I was writing and I say when you say God plants you back in life again, and it gives you that hope, that reassurance that you could go on and mothers do that, like mother hens take care of their chicks, kind of thing, and able to cover and protect and I think it's life-giving, coming from God, giving women the strength to be able to do that. So madam, I just got a lot from it, so I was like, I have to talk about that. Yeah, kind of thing. So if in case you just join us, it's the others, we're talking, Kelly, you have to go just now, in how long is too long, and we're talking about, it's just past June, we're into July, would have had a lot of weddings planned, but there's a lot that we need to know in growing as individuals in order to sustain our relationships, because there are so many broken that we need that guidance, that counsel in everything to have that balance, so we can have longer lasting relationships that are beneficial to both parties, because there are people that stay in toxic relationships as well, and so we don't want that. As a psychologist counselor, I'm sure you would believe that it's better to be in an environment that will empower you and encourage you and help you to grow, than to be in one that is toxic, because you may stay there but it will damage you more. As opposed to coming away from it.
I think one of the things that I keep saying is that I think knowledge people don't know. There's a lot that people don't know. I think where relationship and marriage. So sometimes you have young couples going into marriage, and a lot of things they don't know. Was the role of the wife? Was the role of the husband? Things that are being taught, and I think couples need to be mentored.
Yes.
Okay, and I think so. Knowledge in terms of relationship, I think Pastor Douglas has a relationship school.
Yes.
And so encourage individuals to really get the knowledge, get the knowing. Because most of the times we look at television, we look at these magazines, we look at these superstars, and just what we see portray, and we think, well, okay, that's it. But it's so much more.
It's all acted out, you know. And although we look at it, we still haven't conceptualized. Yes, it is acted out. They spent some time a year putting all that together so that you could think it's normal.
Yes. Yeah.
You know.
Or they choose the clips that they show you. You don't know.
You know. So we're gonna give you some music. When we come back, we have some more burning questions. I just want to put them on the spot quickly, in addition to how long is too long. And so we can give you some music and be back. Bye. So what are some really good questions as to well, I had that about changing your partner. Do you think it's possible for that to happen? And when trust is broken in a relationship, how is it retrieved? Right? And simple questions of what, but coming from you all as counselors, what are some of the things that you believe causes breakdown in the relationship? You know, across the board, there's something that is happening in every relationship that causes, you know, although there are differences, but there are some things generally, you know, coming back to not getting to know each other the way we should, getting the counsel early enough, you know, to know if this was the person, then go through, or be strong enough to say, let me wait or not.
You know what, Max? I want to add to your question list. I want to find out what would you say to someone who said, you know what, I'm in the relationship for so long that I do not want to leave. I am going to lose too much if I leave.
They talk about that, you know. Curtis said,
Oh, they're not hearing me.
Okay, sorry.
Oh no, no. What I'm saying is that when would you recommend that somebody just call it quits in terms of not right up until marriage, right? But people are saying, you know what, I have been with this guy for 10 years and he is all I know of relationship. In the same situation where you had this couple that has been dating for so long since they were teenagers, and they are almost 30 now, and they're saying, you know what, do I then give up all that I have learned, all that I know of quote unquote love, and start all over? Because this person is the picture of love to me.
Yeah.
That's a serious question. That's.
No, my friend asked that. I know Madonna wouldn't believe that, but my friend asked that, Madonna.
I hear you. Oh Lord.
That's a serious question.
So you'll ask the question again, Curtis.
Yeah, that's serious.
Sure. Yeah. All right. So we forgot. Yeah. So that serious question of how do you break away? I think in Trinidad more so people stay in because of society.
Yeah, culture, society, religion.
And where we should have the healing, it's pushed out. I think as you said, I was telling about a friend of mine from church growing up. She got pregnant, so she had to go to the church and confess and stuff. And I remember after those years, you heard of so many abortions in the church because people didn't want to go through that kind of trauma, and where it should have been a place of healing. I remember when Becky was here, Curtis, because she had vibrant crisis center going on and helping mothers who got pregnant and would consider having abortions and that kind of thing with counseling, instead of, and it was people in church who were considering it.
And that's the thing.
The peer pressure of how you would feel and that kind of thing, and how the church masculinity. It's just yeah.
No, it's not necessarily masculinity, Madonna. Well, my thing is that
I said emasculate you.
okay, you use the same word in a different phrasing. But my thing is
Stop! Dr. Cummings,
my
you
thing is
understand what I said? Thank you.
Pastor Cummings, you know that the same word, right? Even though she wouldn't admit it.
It was in context.
But no, what I'm saying, sometimes you're with this person for so long that your identities become entwined. So people know of I try to think of a couple, right? So people know Madonna and Patrick.
The blood of Jesus. You're
You see,
wicked.
if you had offered a couple to me, then I
Listen
would
to
have.
me on Facebook Live.
Okay, so people, okay, good. So people know Madonna and Curtis, right? So sometimes the identity becomes entwined. And after a while, people would ask Curtis, well, remember Madonna? And if it is that Curtis wants to leave the relationship, he feels sort of slighted because everywhere he goes, they know him as somebody who comes with Madonna. You understand what I'm saying, Doc?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
And that's why people, I know for children who would have been divorced, I know a few, one or two you know,
Mm-hmm.
will try to keep that image and they divorce and you're grown adults.
Yeah, and it's even more difficult where one person in the relationship has all the power. So let's say one person has all the status, the money, the accolades, right? And you are with this person. It is even more difficult for you who tend to feel powerless with regards to your mate to leave that position, because you're not just leaving a person, you're leaving a position of status.
I could say, and this is no pun intended, and I think you know where I'm going with it. It's like the man who was in school to work and take care of his wife, and he married a trophy wife, and it's difficult there, but because he doesn't want to lose his status quotes, he will stick around.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I know.
No, exactly, because his being with Madonna means that, you know what? Everywhere Madonna's name is called, my name is called along with it. And so even though Madonna mistreats me, I am happy with it.
That's wrong. I'm sorry, Lord Jesus, you want to have a conversation? We good?
This first question here, do you think something?
Do you think?
The first question, do you think?
Which one? Ask a few.
No, they have the first one. First one, do you think should stay in a relationship? Not stay, but change partner or something. Somebody change partner.
Do you?
If you can change your partner.
Yeah.
What's our change partner? One thing to remember.
That was one you got.
So that's what we just answered.
What was this?
Remember saying that
what
you can't change someone.
You remember your question? Remember
yeah, what would you say to someone that says, I feel I see potential in him and I think that I can change him?
No, not that one. He was asking a question just now when you say about changing partner. Like if this person not there, have to change the person. That was a question?
You mean giving up the relationship?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're going back.
Yeah, because
Curtis, the Facebook only have the music, so I had to go back and talk.
Sure, no problem.
Right?
Oh, I thought all this was on Facebook.
That's some nice music, man, for a Friday evening. As we talk relationships, and I've got Dr. Ian Cummings here with us. And I've got Kelly, psychologist. So, we are just marrying the two and showing how important it is to have good counsel, especially today. And we were talking about relationships and the brokenness in homes and, the high divorce rates, and then trying for that to lessen how much more counseling we need and how early we need the counseling. As soon as you see that person, you see that man, you see that woman, and you think, well, something could happen here. Before the feelings start to grow, there are critical questions that need to come up early. And if you can't answer questions, then you should go for counseling. What do you call that? No, it won't be marital yet. It'll just be pre-counseling. It'll just be relationship school, yeah, and that kind of thing. Good night, Pastor Dougie. Yes, some sort of counseling that will guide you as to the questions asked, what to look for, what red flags to look for, and that kind of thing. And confidence enough that once you see those, if you don't think it's what you could live with, then you make a decision. Yeah, that is important. And Curtis, you had a really burning question, which was a good question, actually.
Yes. So I was asking the esteemed panel, what would you say to the person that has invested so much in their relationship that they don't want to leave it, even though it is clearly either going nowhere or it is just downright toxic, but they have invested so much in the relationship? And as I was using an example, this is a hypothetical example of, let's say, Madonna and Curtis has been in a relationship for 10 years. And the relationship is no longer benefiting Curtis. But because their identities have become entwined, so to speak, with each other. And so if you see Madonna, you just automatically look out for Curtis and vice versa. But the relationship is not going anywhere. What would you tell someone that would convince them that the efforts that they have made is no longer worthwhile, and they just need to give it up and start afresh? Because that's, in my mind, is difficult.
So there's no love, there's no interest in a relationship on either side. There's no hope here.
Well, I'm not saying there's no love, but the relationship isn't progressing. It's going nowhere.
There's no
It's just
romantic love.
become accustomed with each other.
Okay, so that's a common issue that couples face, especially couples who've been together for very long. Talking to me who works with couples, I would obviously say we go to therapy and we work it out. We work out what's missing, why it's missing. Relationships need spontaneity and they need predictability. If you have too much of one, you have a problem. If you have too much predictability, the relationship is boring. If you have too much spontaneity, the relationship is chaotic and uncomfortable, right? So sometimes just starting to look at those two things, we start to say, well, okay, let's try to get a little bit more of this and see if you can find back the spark. We don't end relationships simply because the spark has come dim. Marriages have sparks that go dim, just as relationships would. If you love each other and you want to be in a relationship, you're probably in that kind of phase that's a little shaky, but it's a phase that once you rise out of it and you go into the friendship and love phase of a relationship, then you've gotten something incredible. But you have to work to get it there. You don't just run it.
And that has to be an understanding of both parties, because I think even that's how sometimes relationships end in divorce, because one party isn't willing to understand of that up and down and to their way through it.
We call it.
I understand that in the context of a marriage, and I would agree with that. In context of a courtship, would you give same advice though?
For couples counseling? Yes, but if you're courting with the intention of getting married, you've been together for quite a while, and you do love each other. If you can't get through that dry spell before marriage, what's gonna happen when it happens 10 years